Assalamu alaikum, or if you don't speak Arabic, that just means peace and blessings upon you. That's probably gonna be my intro. Sometimes I don't really care. It's just gonna be random at times. If it's not gonna be that, it's probably just gonna be straight into it. The video is about why are construction workers or like millwrights, mechanics, welders, guys who do like really laborious work, why are they like freakishly strong, even though they haven't seen a weight room in years? They don't try to work out at all. They drink a 6-pack a day at work, and they're probably smoking a cigarette every single hour on the break. And so they're definitely not living the most healthy lifestyle, but they are still being able to crush you when you're like tussling with them or like arm wrestling them or something like that. Like for my example, my dad, he's a mechanic for like 30 years, and I can do one arm weighted muscle ups. That man can destroy me in arm wrestling any day of the week. Unfortunately, I hate to admit it, but literally, every time I arm wrestle this guy, it feels like I have a grip like this, right? It's like his hand will feel it and it will automatically get stronger and get a better grip to the point where he's like eating my hand. His hands are huge too. They're like probably like this much, that cut off, but it's like double in like girth, insanity. Like I would not want to get choked out by that guy. But I'll tell you the reason why. Most handyman workers, even plumbers, guys that like work a lot with their hands, I'll tell you something, those guys can be skinny as hell. And I've met some tiny guys, like 5'5", $140, $150. Those guys would wash any average gym goer. Let me tell you why. People have this wrong perception on what strength really is, and so did I for a majority of my life, till I actually got a really physical job. And one of the most physical jobs I've ever had was when I used to build truck beds for a company. That and a little tiny shop, and that shop was pretty grueling in terms of physical activity. I was like, golly, I gotta be a freaking Olympic athlete. I didn't know being a gold medalist athlete was part of the friggin' skills for the job. I know I need that qualification to be applying to be a welder at this place. I didn't know that. And yeah, I paid that price. I mean, I was sore for a couple of days, so let me get into it. The perception of strength that we all have is that muscle goes on, muscle produces force, and you're just like, okay, I do this and boom, oh, it's gonna make everything, I could push harder if I got a good connection with my muscles, work a full range of motion. Surprisingly, that's all like surface level stuff. I think the main reason on why most like manual labor workers are stronger is just because of just their pure grit and mindset to doing grueling activities every single day. Now you may think, oh dude, I work out hard. I work out hard, dog. I do Rich Piana's 8-hour arm workout, dog. That's how much harder could it be? Okay, most people who do go to the gym, they work at an office, and it's completely different than working in an environment where you have to be strong. There's a difference, okay? Being strong there, it's an option. This one, you have to. There is no choice, especially because they have to live on the line of, if I don't do this, if I don't get the job done, I will be fired. So it's kind of like that prisoner mentality, now that I think about it. It's the mentality of just like, I need to do this, and if I don't, I won't survive. Like in prisoners, people, I'm not gonna lie, people are just kind of oblivious to what works and what doesn't work. People think they need all-star nutrition. People think they need the most high-quality gym. People say they need the best environment. They need to reduce stress. Listen, man, in prison, the guys look better than most gym goers today, and they don't even have access to weights, and they are sleeping 4 to 5 hours a day with a shank under their bed because someone might try to take their butt in the night. I don't think that's the most optimal way to grow muscle, yet they still look like models. They look incredible. Why is that? Same with Spartans. Spartans back in the day, they didn't have high quality nutrition. They had to steal in order to build up that mentality. When they got caught stealing, they only got beaten just because they got caught. You should have not gotten caught. They were literally the strongest, most dangerous group, and it was only 300, and they could destroy an army of 1,000. And they had terrible environments. They couldn't sleep well. They were always terrified. They didn't have optimal training and nutrition, but they were still the most dangerous group alive. Why is that? Strength, in my opinion, is instead of more physical, I think it's more mental. It's more mental, neurologically, and as well as like, what's that one word? It's sort of intangible. It's like a little bit of tangibility and intangibility. The intangibility part is simply the mindset you have to being a strong person. Are you willing to endure extreme, excruciating amounts of pain to make your body fear experiencing that again, like shocking it, to get stronger and adapt so that way it doesn't hurt as much? The best example I can think of it is like people who like punch trees and walls over and over and over again. People will say, don't do that. But guess what? The ones who don't listen to them, their knuckles are like twice as big. And yeah, it's probably like in pain majority of the time. But I guarantee you, no one's gonna want to get hit by that guy. And if he hits a door, and if he hits a wall, hits a tree, the tree's gonna feel it. He ain't gonna feel it. Why would you not want that type of power and strength? It just takes a while because you literally have to overcome the mental belief of, I can't get stronger doing this. I can't get better doing this. And we'll apply this to a realistic calisthenic event or environment. In New York and Harlem, there's a group called, I think it's Harlem or Manhattan, somewhere in New York, the Barbarians. They're a really famous calisthenics group. And all they do is pull-ups, push-ups, and leg raises. Muscle-ups maybe. And they may do weighted movements once every few weeks or months. But they are still the most top class, the strongest, the most also aesthetically pleasing, no homo, guys of athletes on the face of this planet. I guarantee it. You know, and they also, guess what? Everybody is also saying how you have to specifically train for skills like planche and all that. Those guys literally got too good at pull-ups to where they accidentally got those skills. Zef Zekavelli, for example, was one of the first guys in calisthenics, or I guess the pioneers of calisthenics. He wasn't like the first guy to do it, but he basically like pioneered the front lever. His front lever was stupidly clean, and he never seen anyone else do it. So that means he didn't even have the belief that it was possible. He literally just did it by accident. He can also do planche without ever training for it. Is that not? I'm just confused on how people can just see that and think, wow, I don't have to waste so much time. This guy did it just by doing the basics, push-ups, pull-ups, and dips. And I can do it too. I don't have to spend hours specifically training, joint prepping and all that. They literally raw dog it and go at sometimes snowing conditions. They don't go in a AC cooled environment. They go to the park, do crazy endurance sets, and they are still stronger than the majority of the calisthenic athletes. They don't, the calisthenic athletes nowadays, okay, they only have like 2 or 3 skills under their belt. 2 or 3 of the main important skills. They'll have like planche, front lever, and like handstands. Everything else they suck at. They can't do everything like these guys. They train for none of the crazy skills, yet they have all of them. Does that make sense? Like they have this, I don't know how to say it, but they basically are doing less and they're gaining a lot more. Why would anyone not want to do that? They do push-ups, pull-ups, and dips for high endurance sets and some leg raises and some like small other basic calisthenic movements. and yet they're getting all of these advanced skills that most people struggle with while training specifically in better environments, better nutrition, better all that, and they still can't do it. Why is that? In my opinion, I believe it's the fact that you don't actually need to do that. Because I've done a ton of research on what gets the best planche, what's the fastest planche. Some people, and that kind of the conclusion that yes, some people are just born to be able to do it. Me, I was born with crazy back muscles. So I could front lever like literally in less than my first year of doing calisthenics. Less than my first year. Why? But still, I had still the mindset to where I was even able to hold a one arm front lever if I actually cared. I think the way that they did it is because they didn't care. They didn't like put emotional investment into the skill itself, and they got it. It's kind of just, I don't know, I don't want to sound like a law of attraction type of guy, but I'm just saying this guy wanted that, or he tried it, or he wanted to get super good at it, then he just did it. That simple. And I wish I could explain it better, but literally the guy just he worked on honing his skills so much to where he got the skills that he didn't even know he could get by doing less. While most people are doing a lot more while getting less results. So in order to like put that into fruition and combine and put it back to where like construction workers, strength is a skill. It is a neurological adaptation that you constantly have to expose your body to your nervous system mainly. The reason why most construction workers are skinny but super strong is because of the fact that strength is neurological. You can't see strength. You can't see how strong I am. I can look like I'm strong, but I can also not lift nothing, which is most of the guys at the gym. No offense, but that's true. The construction workers they could be huge, small, short, fat, strongest guys you'll ever meet. And I thought I could hang with them until I realized it was too hard for me to open an air hose so I could set up a grinder, and they all laughed at me. I got really good at opening air hoses after that. And the other job I literally had to pick up huge ass steel beams that were like 30 feet long, solid metal, and I had to carry it on my back like this, going from there to there, going from warehouse to warehouse, carrying that thing. Most gym guys that say, oh yeah, I can squat like 325. I mean, I can hold that. You're going to get crushed. You're going to get folded like an accordion. It's not going to go well for you. So one of the ways that gets them super strong is the constant practice of the skill itself of lifting heavy things. You don't just get stronger by lifting something super heavy a couple times. The reason why they get so strong is because strength is skill, and skill requires practice, and they are getting constant practice every single day. They are working 8 to 12 hours of getting good at a skill of lifting things that are heavy. That's why they are so strong. And if they can eat enough to where they're not tired and or they can stand up straight, they will grow from that. And there's a lot of construction workers that are really viciously strong. And actually, if they try just a little bit on their diet or go do another workout, they would look like models. They would not models, but they would look really good for themselves, especially as construction workers that don't work out much. So that's why most construction workers are super jacked. They don't even try to focus, but the mentality of I have to do this. And it is sometimes an impossible task. Sometimes when we're at the gym and we're trying to do something that feels impossible or do a routine that looks scary and it's impossible, it's not actually impossible. These people are facing the routine that you're probably scared of or something similar to that nature, where it's just like, oh, like 10 sets of 10 deadlifts. They're doing 10 sets of 10 deadlifts. You have the option to opt out when you feel like it's too much and your joints are hurting, all that. They don't. And some people will say, oh, it's not good because you're going to hurt yourself and all that joint. Listen, if the construction workers can work for like 10, 20, 30 years, I think they're fine. I think you just got to maybe train a little bit on not having weak joints. That's probably as much as I can say. And I think that's basically it. they've practiced the skill of strength. They constantly exert themselves to the max, even in crappy environments. Their whole mindset is, I have to get this done. Same with prisoners, same with people who, majority of the time when they do calisthenics, they do it because they have to. They didn't have, like, I heard a story from one of the guys who do calisthenics. His name is Beast on the podcast. He says back in the day, weapons were very, very hard to come by, and he was part of a gang. So when you couldn't have a weapon, your body was your weapon. So everyone tried to get as strong as possible. I don't know how, accurate that is, but it sounds pretty authentic on the fact that he also did Muay Thai. He was part of, he was around the block, if you get what I'm saying. And he said, your body was your weapon. If you wanted to drop somebody, you wanted to build up your arms so that way you could slam them to the ground as hard as possible. So I hope that helps. It's a different perspective on strength, and it's not going to be the same take everybody has on why are Labermen so strong. They're stronger than most gym goers.